Tinder, Bumble, meetups, they all try to solve problem of loneliness. What makes you think that, your application is going to fix that billion-dollar companies have failed to fix?
Bumble and Tinder, they are trying to fix love, and we are trying to fix loneliness. We just try to create the most simplest and seamless way to just meet new people anytime you want.
So most founders are building apps to connect people digitally. You're building one that's forcing people offline.
Now we are completely disconnected by design, so we spend so much time on the screen. That's why we are feeling lonely. It's not because something changed in us, it's just because we spend 3 hours on TikTok every day instead of spending 3 hours outside.
What's the friendship you lost over building the business?
Oh, wow.
Over the last 2 decades, the amount of people with zero friends has tripled. All that whilst we have the largest amount of social media apps ever. So what's happening? So we're more connected, but more lonely. So today I'm super excited to have a conversation with Max Barbier, who is co-founder of a very interesting app, Timeleft, and is the app that is turning strangers into friends over a dinner. So right now they're in 200 cities around the world in 52 countries with amazing 150,000 monthly users and around 18 million euro of annual revenue in just 20 months after several pivots. So welcome, Max. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope I introduced you very correctly. If not, you feel free to add more stuff.
No, it's perfect. It's a great description. I'm happy to be there. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome, Max. So, welcome to Building Great Tech. Really fantastic to have you. Really quickly to begin with. So, Tinder, Bumble, meetups, and Facebooks, they all kind of try to solve problem of loneliness. What makes you think that, your application is going to fix that billion-dollar companies have failed to fix so far?
Oh, that's a good question. So I think we are doing two different things. I think Bumble and Tinder, they are trying to fix love, and we are trying to fix loneliness. And I believe the love and friendship are kind of the same bucket, but it's two different things. So if you think about it, like Tinder and Bumble, what they sell to you is to find love, but they just make you to have dates, right? And us, what we do is like we try to make you not feeling lonely by just finding an easy way for you to have a dinner with someone. So we are two different approach. Even if at Timeleft, a lot of people use this as a dating app, we don't try to save the dating app as it is. We just try to create the most simplest and seamless way to just meet new people anytime you want.
Right. So you're sort of thinking this is going to be working much better than any other friendship sort of creating apps.
I think the market we try to address is way better. So if you give an example, at Timeleft, any week, we have people from 20 to 80 years old. We have people who are single, people who are in couple. We have people who are like divorced or just get engaged. So it's what we try to give to the people is really a shot of human connection. So it can be any sort of human connection you need. So some people come to the dinners expecting to find a beautiful woman. Some people just want to meet, the same nationality or someone else to be friends. So we are way more large in an addressable market than the dating market.
Love that.
Love that. So most founders are building apps to connect people digitally. You're building one that's forcing people offline. I got to say, absolutely love that concept, Max. Do you think that the tech industry created this loneliness problem, and now you're attempting to fix it?
Yeah, I think the tech and let's be more precise. I think like dating apps, social media, all this kind of thing, yes, are a big part of I think creating this loneliness. And to be honest, like we said there is a pandemic of loneliness, and that's right. It's not because we don't know how to express our humanness. It's not because we don't know how to connect. It's just because we don't have any space and moment during the week to do it. I don't know, like 50 years ago, you used to go to the church, you used to go to the grocery market, you used to go to the football game, and you start to, you leave the people around, you live in the same city. Now we are completely disconnected by design. So we spend so much time on the screen. That's why we are feeling lonely. But when you put people who don't know each other, actually they know how to talk. They really connect really well. So the problem of loneliness is mostly by design. It's not because something changed in us. It's just because we spend 3 hours on TikTok every day instead of spending 3 hours outside. So the goal of what we do at Timeleft is just to reverse what's happening. And you mentioned the dating apps, and so we are the opposite of dating apps. Dating apps is like, tell me everything you want to know about someone, put all the features, swipe, talk, and then you decide if you want to meet someone. We do the opposite. You don't know anything, you have to show up first. Just go outside, go to the dinners, and then you decide. You want to seduce, you want to be friend, you want to do business, whatever it is. What we try to create with Timeleft is literally this magical thing on you click on the button and next day, tomorrow, you're going to be with people. That's it. Then it's up to you to try to get to know them and whatever. But I did 90 dinners myself, incognito. Actually, it's a great thing to do. I have like a lot of story about it. I say who I am at the end. But what really fascinates me after meeting these 400 people is like, we are social. We are really social animal. Like we know how to connect. We know how to behave. The only thing we just don't go out anymore, and we spend so much time on the screen. I think that's the real problem.
So what's the premise of the app? I mean, obviously we discussed this, but just for our listeners. So if I register with the app, do I provide a lot of information about myself, and algorithm somehow matches me with some people that potentially could be great for me to meet? Can you tell us a little bit about that, Max?
Yeah, so we are available in 200 cities, so practically in all the big cities in the world. And so what you do, you go on timeleft.com or you download the app and you do a really short personality test, and you give information about you, like, sex, age, like what kind of type of restaurant do you want. So the algorithm we have can create the best group possible. And then when you're ready, you just choose what you want to do. So we have dinners for women only. We have drinks, coffee, run, you decide. In London, we have things every day, for example. And then when you're ready, you just click on the button. And tomorrow morning, you're going to receive an address of the restaurant with a time, 7 p.m. You show up to the restaurant. You say, I'm Timeleft. Where is my table? Table 1. You can sit there and you sit. And 5 people are going to be coming to you and say, hey, are you table 1? Yes, cool. And then here we go. You just chit chat and voila.
Okay. And can couples come as well together, or is it just individually?
No, we have a +1 feature. So if you want, you can bring a +1. Some people are a bit shy or a bit panic about, going on, outside of your comfort zone and meeting. Like, to be honest, like for people who listen to us, it's always a bit tricky at the beginning. It's just meeting people, so you have a bit of stress at the beginning. So we create this +1 feature. So if you want to come with a friend or your wife, some people say at the beginning, I don't know if I can come, I have a wife. Yeah, you can come. It's just, it's not a dating app. So bring your wife and you will see it's for everyone.
Nice.
Love that. And so you said there was quite a wide range of ages, you said at the beginning.
Yes.
Who would you sort of, given that scope, who would you say, like, for our listeners, Timeleft app is actually for?
The most surprising thing for us, it was how heavily it's used by women. So when we start the Timeleft concept, it was close to 70% women participating all the time on every city. So again, big difference with dating app. I think because women are way more social than guys, and I think it's more okay for women to just meet other women. I think as a guys, we are more like, what's going to happen, we don't know. And so now it's a bit balanced. I would say 55% of the participants are women. The big part of the participant is like 25 to 45. And we start to see more and more older people joining because we also do communication about it. My dad is 72 now. He goes once a month, almost once a month.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
also the beauty of the concept, because what we do at the end is a dinners, and everybody know how to go to a restaurant and have a dinner. So it's kind of a super easy things to do, multicultural. So we have Timeleft in Tokyo, Los Angeles, or Italy, and it's the same, right? Everybody know how to play the game, basically.
And how do they split the bill?
Good question. The only tricky part is in the US. They are a bit more annoyed when we put 6 credit cards on the table. But again, I will tell you a story. So when we start 2 years and a half ago, it was in Lisbon and Paris, and everything was really manual. So I was going to the restaurant, I was printing question card, and I was making sure the restaurant know what to say and what to do. And we're still losing money. So I was like, okay, we're going to die, like not quick, but we're going to die one day if we don't know how to open more city. But I say, I can't open a city. If I need to have one person in each city, it's not going to make sense. And so we say, okay, you know what? Let's do ads in Barcelona, and we launch Barcelona without being in the city, without knowing the city at all. We have 50 people participating on the first dinners. So I find, restaurant online on Google reviews, and I just find a restaurant. And I was doing the customer support back then with my own WhatsApp. The dinner go, no complaint. I was like, okay, interesting. The next day I call the restaurant and I say, did they find table 1, table 2? And he said something who completely changed the trajectory of Timeleft. He said, yes, they are not stupid. And I was like, okay. But it's like, yeah, like, you mean like the people are not stupid. Like they know how to behave. So they know how to split the bill. They know how to order food. They know there will be a starter, a main and a dessert. And they know how to not drink too much. No, but it was fascinating because what's happening after that in 2024, so it was 1 year ago, we launched one city every day for 325 days.
Wow.
Every single day we open a city with the same concept in mind. People are not stupid. And it just helped us to scale pretty quickly in 2024.
Wow.
And Max, can I ask you, like, what is the difference, like, between countries? Like, do people do dining the same way, or there's specific things that you discovered that, oh my God, in this country, they do it completely differently?
So when we start to open city after cities, it was funny because I was always the same thing. So, oh guys, we're going to open Germany. Oh, Germany, they are so close. It's not going to work. Right. Super success. And they say, oh, we're going to open Brazil. Oh, Brazil, they don't need that. They are so friendly. It was also a big success. There is some specificity, but I think what really was interesting to see is like the loneliness, the need of human connection, the need of go outside from your own comfort zone and to meet people actually is completely everywhere. We are live in 52 countries, and in every city we have people coming every week. So it's really not a French thing or a UK thing or like a Asian thing. It's really like everybody feeling lonely. Then there is some difference. There is a bit of sometimes Portuguese people and Brazilian people don't really like to be together. Sometimes Japanese people they prefer to stay together. There is some light differences, but again, it's really an international concept, and it basically works the same on almost every country.
Love that. So you sort of briefly mentioned that there, that you've kind of pivoted multiple times before you've gotten to where you are now. How many times did you fail, and what have you learned through that kind of process?
I have a mantra who is like there is nothing stronger than a little hope who don't give up. And I think it was like really this for the first 3 years. So we didn't make a single euros for 3 years, and we pivoted 5 times. So the first idea of Timeleft was to connect people who share the same dream. So in the middle of the pandemic, I got fired from my old company, so I was free studently. So I decided to travel the world, and I make a list of 100 dreams, and I take 2 years to achieve all my dreams. And it was a pandemic. I was living my best life. My friend get depressed at home. So the idea was swipe dreams. And every time someone wants to do the same dream as you, we're going to create a conversation. Time left. What do you want to do with the time you get left? For now, who don't know why the name. And then it was cool. People loved the idea, but nothing happened in the chat because, I don't know, you want to do a marathon, you're in London, you never run, me too, it's just a dream, so nothing happened. And pivot number 2, okay, dream are too big. Let's try to do something more local. So it was an app in Lisbon, because I moved back to Lisbon, and I said, okay, choose something you want to do in the city, and send like a match with something to do. So it was a bit, different from dating apps, right? But then, if you do a one-on-one meetup, then the guy is going to use this as the dating app. So guys are taking the same experiences, sending to 200 girls in a minute. The girls use it completely differently. Not safe at all. Oh, you want to try rock climbing, and after 2 messages, can we have a drink first at my place? So it was the dating apps, and I don't really like dating apps. So okay, how we can kill this? Okay, let's do groups meeting. So say you want to do yoga, we're going to try to find people who want to do yoga with you on Thursday morning, for example. And it was really hard to find stuff people want to do in the same time. And after 3 years, super tired, nothing was working, almost no money in the bank. I said, okay, to my co-founder, do you want to try one more time? He said, okay, but now we need to do what we want. I said, okay, what do we want? No tech. We need to make money. It has to be simple, and we need to know how to do everything in the product. So basically, it was a Stripe link, ChatGPT, WhatsApp, and voila. And we start with this idea, okay, it's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be in a restaurant, and they're not going to choose anything. They just have to show up. So we came with this idea. And then the last 2 years was pretty cool ride.
Amazing. Which failure hurt the most out of them, and why?
I think like this question also, like, do you have any regret or stuff like that? I will not change a thing because I really enjoy where I am now, and I think we're in a great position. So I think all these fails help us to be where we are. I think one will be to charge users way before. I think this thing, or make your app for free and they get like a lot of users, and at one point you're gonna monetize. It's an advice I completely disagree now. I say charge really quickly, because I think taking money is the only way to know if people have value of what you do. I think 1 million users for free, it's doable. But then when you're going to try to monetize, two things going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. That's the first thing. And the second, as soon as you start to monetize, you're going to learn how to monetize. And so if you start to monetize in 12 months, then you're going to start monetizing, at 0 in 12 months. But if you start now, then you're going to have way more learning curve onto that. And we're always afraid to ask money for people, but we start with €5 to get a seat at the table, and people are already super happy to get €5 for a seat. And so that will be something I will probably try to have done way before. I see second learning also. You don't have to be in the US to launch the US. Everybody told me you need a team in the US, you need to understand the market. No, it's finished. I think on B2C now, you can do everything from everywhere. And US is our biggest market, 50% of the business, and we have only one person in the US. So it was a big learning for me.
Hey guys, we're really hoping that you're enjoying this episode so far. And if you are, please like, subscribe, and follow. And if you really want to know more about who we are and what we do, go to buildinggreattech.com. Now let's go back to the episode.
I love that. I think that's such an important point about like just charging straight away. As contradictory as that is in the kind of world of tech and founders, it's like get something free, get it out there. But actually that extra hurdle of, you have to pay to use this is a real determiner to, okay, this is of value to me and I'm willing to pay. Like if it's free, you don't really have that kind of threshold.
Yeah, but I think you can start for free, but I mean, like for 1 month, like, just to try to make sure like there is no bug and people, they go from the beginning at the end of the funnel. Okay, fair enough. But I think if you have 1,000 visits, that's enough. Let's go. Let's try to monetize. And we learn the hard way, like when it's for free, and then when you start to put the paywall, everything you built is that you put it to the garbage. Oh, we have a 90% conversion rate on the onboarding. Yes, it's free. Put a paywall. Oh, it go to 2%. What are we going to do now? You need to understand why. And so I think it's a mix of don't wait too much. You can start for free, but don't wait more than 1 or 2 months, I think, for monetization.
Yeah, makes sense. And I just wanted to ask another point. You said we wanted to do what we wanted to do. And so we said no tech. What was it?
Yes, so I make my peace with them. I love them. We are a tech company. I have amazing head of engineering and 20 engineers. But before, my last company was a content production and social media. So not a B2C app, no tech, only like production. So I was managing, video guys and graphic designers. So nothing technical. And then when we start this new journey of being a tech, like my assumption was, you need to have a strong tech team. The product has to be strong. You need like a heavy tech. And if you don't succeed, it's because you don't have a technical thing. And then I was one tech team on the first pivot and a second tech team on the third pivot. And I felt so hopeless because, Max is good in 1 month. And then 1 month come. Sorry, it's going to take 1 month's delay. Why? That's it. You can't do anything. You just I was stuck. I wanted to shake the guy and I couldn't do anything. So when we pivot again, I said, no, it's not possible. We need to own. And actually, now I think it's even more with Lovable and all this kind of thing. But from the beginning, for the first years of Timeleft, we went from 0 to 1 million of revenue in 1 month, in 10 months. So we went from 0 to 10 million ARR in 10 months. So 1 million a month added. And we were on low code, Flutter Flow and Bubble. So really shitty tech who took us 1 year of migration after that. So it was maybe but it was really cool because everything was so easy to build. Like, you want these features, it was plug and play. And then at one point, after 1 year, one of the tech guys said to me, Max, I can't touch anything because if I touch something, everything's going to fall apart. I said, okay, maybe it's time to have a proper tech. But it's a different discussion when you go and try to hire a tech guy and you say, you know what, we are doing 10 million ARR and we have all these things already working. I just want this low tech as a better tech. But this is what it is. It's already there. Instead of like when we start, oh, I don't understand what really I want. There is no market fit. I need to pivot, super quickly. And so it was really hard to navigate back in the time.
Pretty cool. Nice approach. I guess it's like different these days because you can use, like I said, Lovable on other vibe coding platforms, and you can just build everything in like a week and then sort of get product market fit. So it's kind of like changing now the speed of delivery of the products.
Yeah, but I read this quote. I think it's like AI speed up the time between ideas and MVP, something like that. But it don't speed up the time between poor judgment and good judgment. And so I think now we are really quick. We are really quick to have something, in your hand. And hell, look, I built this in 2 days. Great, but that's only that's great because I understand what you have in your mind. But now we need to figure it out, like marketing and all this kind of thing, and how we're going to scale. So yes, we can build a lot of things quicker, but I'm not sure we have way more successful people, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's true. And actually, the founder of Lovable said that the bottleneck changed from who can build software to what should we build. So essentially, there is no probably a recipe for success on like knowing straight away what's the right thing to do, right?
AI make us way more efficient, and now with Claude and all this kind of thing, I feel I'm way more efficient. I love quotes, so I love punchlines. So another punchline is like if you give a hammer to a child, for him everything is a nail. Yeah. And it's like the same with AI. Like now everybody has access to everything in AI, they can do everything, but the goal is like you don't need to do everything. You need to understand what's need to be done and remove the noise and go specifically. There is another stat, I think, like now on the engineer side, I think there is the top 5% or something like that get 5 times more efficient than the average of the engineer, because it's not only about the tools, but also about the human who is using the tool. And so if you have a great skills as a human and you have a great tool, then the combination is amazing. But if you have a poor judgment with an amazing tool, then it's even worse.
Yeah, for sure. It's like multiplies if you're really bad.
Yes.
So Max, like you mentioned that like the big night you had, when you brought together, what did you say, 50 people for the sort of main sort of dinner. When did you know that that's going to work? Like, when was the moment during that dinner that you were like, oh, actually, this could be good?
I think when we start to make our first 25 euros, I was like, damn. I was like, wow, we had the Stripe, and Adrian say, oh, Max, we're 100 euros. I was like, wow. No, but like it looked funny now, but again, it was damn, people are paying for something. They are paying for this, right? And for the first almost 1 year, I did every dinner's incognito on Wednesday, and I of course attend the first one, and I felt it. I was like, wow, this is. I'm nervous. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is and people have such an amazing time, and then they come back. I was like, wow, okay. And then it just starts to scale, slowly but surely. And I was like, okay, I think we're onto something. And then we just push all the way.
Nice. And so after that, first big dinner that happened and people started paying you, on your way back home, how did you feel?
I feel, good question. It was now almost 3 years ago, but, I was like last week, I was again with the dinners, and, okay, it's sound a bit cliche, but I really think we are a mission-driven company. Like, you go to these dinners, and I'm Cognito, and I have this girl who did 25 dinners, and this guy who did 17, and how they talk to the concept, and how they convince the new joiner to say, oh, this is great, you're gonna love it, and we have an amazing time, people laugh, and also people express our amazing stories happening at Timeleft dinners. And so when I go home after that, I was like, I'm proud of what we do at Timeleft. And so it's a good energy to have.
Oh, I love that. Being proud of what we do. Yeah, amazing. And you mentioned before that there is no swiping or no bias. You can't check people you're gonna meet for the dinner. But like for some people, it might feel like the most terrifying thing. How do you sort of look at that?
We don't really know what's the percentage of people who are afraid and don't show up. I think 2 years ago we attract only the brave, we say. But now it's become more and more popular. We have 1.3 million of followers. Like we have like 4 million users in the app. So it become more okay. I will give an analogy. I think it's like Ubers. Like 20 years ago, your parents said never go in a car with the strangers, and now like you do it every day. So no, I think it's okay. The word of mouth is pretty cool. But for sure, there is some people who are afraid to do it. Like if you're really introvert and for you it's a big challenge, for sure. So that's why also we create the coffee with strangers and the running with strangers. We have people who do the run because it's more, I don't know, more easy for them, more like, casual, or the coffee also more easy to just leave the table if you don't like the person or something like that. So that's why we have this no, it's happened. We have some people. I have crazy story if you want about Timeleft, but
tell us the crazy story.
I think one of the story I tell the most, it was at the beginning when we launched in London. Actually, it was in London, and I think it's a part of the concept people don't really get. Is like it's strangers, so you can really be yourself in a sense and talk about kind of what you want. And so in the app we have a question game. So we give questions for people they can ask themselves. And one of the questions was, what is the thing you're the most proud of? Like, what is the thing you're the most proud happen? And so the guy says something super superficial, and another guy superficial, and then it was this guy. He was on my right angle, and you can see he changed his answers. It was after 1 hour. We have some drinks, and it was a cool moment. And he started to have tears in the eyes. I was like, oh my God, what is he going to say? And the guy said, the thing I'm really proud of is 6 months ago, I didn't kill myself. And then everybody, whoa. And he started to cry. And then there is an emotion of connection rising in us. It's like, we all like kind of, I don't know, like bend, close to him and like, bro, this is amazing. You should be so proud. Like, it was like, a lot of joy, like intense joy. And then the girl after that, you can say, oh shit, I need to change my answers. Now we need to go deep all together. And she says something like also super like vulnerable. And I say the same. And we have this crazy ending. We kind of knew we will never be friends, but we have this lightness going home. We're like, wow. And now I know there is some therapy people and psychiatrists, they send hopefully not all of them, all the clients, but if you just want to express yourself, sometimes you can't, because I don't know, I have a guy also one day, he said like, I'm so happy to be there because I think I'm going to divorce with my wife, but I don't have anyone to talk to. Everybody know my wife. I don't know how to express to who and to what. And I was like, okay, just talk. What do you want from us? And we have this conversation. Okay, it's not only about divorce and people who want to kill themselves, but I mean, you have, it's like maybe I will never see you again, and that's okay. So you can just really let yourself go, and I think there is a beauty in it.
Wow,
love that. That's real.
But it's true. Like, I do get that sometimes it's very easy to speak to people that actually don't know you, and you can just open up and
it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
But also, like when we say loneliness, I think there is a stigma around it. We have this cliche, or maybe this fat guys alone on himself, like this. We have a cliche about it. But like I meet 500 people, and I see a lot of different type of people. The people you will never guess they are lonely, and also you can be lonely in your relationship. You can be lonely with friends. Loneliness is a feeling inside. Where also I meet some people who say, you know what? I have the same friends since 10 years. We always do the same thing. We talk about the same stuff. It's always superficial. And they are stuck in it. And after 30, I don't know what's your age, but I'm 41 now. After 30, it's hard to make new friendship, to go outside by yourself, or to be old school and, randomly talk to someone in the street. We don't really do that anymore. And so it's pressure for people.
Yeah.
And can I ask you, because obviously you're meeting complete strangers, like how do you make it safe?
Good question. So when we raise money, is not disclosed, but when we raised money 2 years ago with a big VC in the US, it it's a true story. He said, yeah, we're going to give you money, but you have to have a strong trust and safety policy. And I was like, as a French person, trust and safety, what is this trust and safety? It's really a thing from the US, like this trust and safety. And he said, okay, this is a thing, dating apps, they have a thing about trust and safety and escalation. I learned all this new word for me. I was like, okay, yeah. If you give me money, of course, I can hire anyone you want. and we created this really strong trust and safety team, actually ex-Bumble. And he came, and after 3 months, I said, so how is it? He said, man, it's crazy. There is nothing happening. I was like, what do you mean? He said, at Bumble, it's crazy bad. There is millions of things happening all the time. And then we discovered something is in Timeleft, you can't really scam people or harm people online because there is nothing online. You need to create your account, then you need to pay. If you don't pay, nothing happens. And then you need to show up. You need to go in a public space in a group of 6. And then if you do all this stage, maybe you have access to someone into the app. So we have things happening sometime. Of course, now with the volume, we see more than 1 million people in real life in the last 2 years. So we have things happening, but I mean, it's 0.001% because again, it's a public space. I think the same concept in private home, I would be not super safe to do it, but the restaurant and the group sitting is kind of a protection mechanism. And we have now a strong trust and safety if anything happens, of course.
Okay, and can people use your app for like networking?
You can't really use the app for anything else than just showing up. And that's kind of the baseline of Timeleft, show up first and decide what you want to do. So you can't say on the app, I'm here for networking. You can't say I'm single, I just want to be with single. You can't say all this kind of thing because we just want to let you decide by yourself and then remove the expectation. We have so many copycat of Timeleft since 2 years, like a lot. And they all try a different variation. So entrepreneur, Timeleft, like we have the Christian for people who believe in Christ. It's holy dinners. I love the name. We have brunch, Timeleft. We have a lot of variation, but I think if you do like an entrepreneur version of Timeleft, I think there is a lot of expectation behind. Because, I hope I'm going to make great entrepreneur. And then you focus on that. And so as soon as you sit and then you assess and you say, I don't really like what they do as a business, that's it. That's why also at Timeleft, it's the opposite because we don't really ask you what you want. Of course, you have your agenda. You say, please, I want beautiful woman tonight. I want to, find someone. Great. You sit down. There is no beautiful woman. You still open with this guy on the right. Oh, you do basketball. Me too. Let's do basketball together next weekend. So you're more open to what's coming. And I think that's why I described at the beginning. I think dating apps is the opposite. You try to narrow down to the really specific thing you want. And then you go on the date and you're like highly disappointed because that's the problem of dating apps. And Timeleft is the opposite direction. You don't know anything, and then you be more open to what's coming.
Are you collecting some kind of feedback of like people? How did it go? Like how does your algorithm even match people? Like in terms of it needs to be some kind of logic, right, behind. So you don't match like completely random people.
No. And so every time we match people at the end of the dinners, they can tell us how was the restaurant, who they like their experience, who they want to meet again. So we have millions of data and of course we use all this data. And so we know now we have this kind of not so magic, but this Timeleft recipe of what's a great dinner. So 6 is a perfect numbers for a table. You need to have a balance of gender, age. 10 years between the youngest and the oldest is kind of the maximum you can have. Of course, it's great to have this dinner with your grandpa, but same generation usually is the best. The price of the restaurant has a huge impact on the connection. If you send people who have only 20 euros to spend, on the restaurant with you who want to spend 60 euros, it creates a lot of friction. So we have all these data points we use to maximize the chance of success of the group. And so that was really interesting, but it's not a how can I say? It's not a magic algorithm in a sense. And it was also a big discovery for us. Is like people know how to connect. And so it's not about, as soon as you put the gender, the age, the restaurant, the setup, the language, all these criteria, people, they know how to navigate, to be honest.
That is really cool. And then what about like on the front end? Do you see people that sign up and maybe kind of don't follow through because they're feeling awkward and they kind of don't go the next step?
We have a lot of people who sign up and don't participate. we also because I think most of the people who download the app, we are maybe not open in their city. That's a fact. In London, in UK, we are in London and Manchester and Liverpool, but there is a lot of city we are not open, so we can't be accessible from them. But yeah, I think people are struggle to make the step. It's I will not say it's like you want to lose weight and you have to go to the gym. It's not but it's still a step you need to make on yourself. So some people say, oh, I would love to meet new people, I feel lonely, blah blah blah. What do you do? Nothing. Okay, but till you do nothing, it's not going to change. But for them to make the step sometimes it takes a bit of time. So but one day we're gonna have them all.
Working on them.
How do you? So if you have people who registered but haven't actually booked anything, do you have like a magical way of bringing them in, or like do you try to lure them in? Or do you do anything with them?
Yeah, we have a CRM. We have 4 million users. I think we have now more than 1 million unique clients, people who pay at least once. So you can see there's 3 million of people who are there waiting for someone. Of course, when we do, like a Black Friday, like promotion and this kind of thing, we have a lot of new people. Plus one and the features we are doing now bring also they bring their friends, so that's great. Also, something we didn't know, but like when we do Timeleft, we put 2 to 3 tables of 6 per restaurant, and it happens sometimes where people say, "What is this? Why these people have so much fun? Like, what is it? Oh, it's Timeleft. What is Timeleft? Oh, it's a concept." So we also playing with the restaurant as also growth lever. So to give you an idea, on every Wednesday, we have 28,000 people on the single night in 2,500 restaurants across the globe. And so it's also play a massive exposure to what we do.
Wow,
amazing numbers. Love it.
Speaking of the numbers, so I don't know if it's correct numbers, but from like you went from 4 employees to like 19. Is that 90? Is that correct?
Yeah, we are 100 now.
Oh, 100 now. Okay, so my data is outdated. That was in 18 months. So like, and then you went obviously to 18, probably now more million euro a year in just 20 months. So how that's like, it looks a bit almost suspicious. Like, what's your like? How did you how did you drive that?
And the main driver was the geographically expansion, and so it's just math. If you have 2 cities and you make X, then if you have 200 cities, I think one of the things who really saved us, that was this guy in Barcelona saying people are not stupid. I need to find this guy again. I think I need to give him something at one point. But we were like kind of out of cash and desperate to make it. And so we were really bold in say, okay, let's open as many cities as we can. And we really like, I was on ChatGPT at the time and I was like, okay, like Italy, give me the top 10 cities in Italy. Okay, Germany, give me the top 10 cities of Germany. Malaysia, give me the top 10 cities of Malaysia. And it was like just opening. So pretty, of course, growth in terms of revenue. And then building the foundation. So now we have a strong tech team, a strong product team. The product is evolving a lot. What helped us also is to move from one-off ticket to subscription. So now we are 100 subscription business. A bit more hard to acquire, but way more retention and way more predictable business. So it really helped us also to scale to have subscription base.
But when you say you were launching like every day in different city, what does it really mean? Do you mean like you would unlock the restaurants, or like what did it actually mean?
So when we did some ads in Spanish to get Barcelona, I said, okay, we have the ads in Spain, in Spanish. So you know what? Let's do the same ads in Madrid and Sevilla, in all the city. Great. Oh, we have ads in Spanish. Who speaks Spanish in the world? Mexico. Okay, let's use the same ads and do ads. So first step was to do ads to collect the demand and say, oh, we have 25 people who want to participate and pay. We have 50 people. When we launched London, we have 400 people in this first week who want to pay and participate. And so as soon as we have the participation, then we find the restaurant. Also, like if I need to resume the value of Timeleft, is like really 2 things. One is the matchmaking. So we're really good now to finding people who agree to meet you without knowing who you are. That's a great thing, right? Dating apps can't do that. And the second thing is the logistic. So we really, book the restaurant, make sure the table is there for you, so it's really seamless. But if you think about it, like the restaurant are doing a huge part of Timeleft experiences. And the great thing about restaurant, they are everywhere. They are really welcome to get free money. And they have Google reviews. They are, everything is online now. So every time we wanted to launch a new city, it was really easy to find restaurant. You need to convince them at the beginning, and we have two table of six coming. They don't know each other. Who's gonna pay? They're gonna pay. Don't worry. And so it was a bit of a onboarding, but now it's all good.
Wow, that's amazing. So did you say 720 bookings a day you've got now, or is it more than that?
Booking, we are close to 140,000 a month, and so I don't know. In London, I think we have 1,500 every week. People are showing up in London to have dinners all together during the week. Wednesday is our biggest night, 25,000 per Wednesday. Women's only on Tuesday is also popular. 8,000 women per month have dinners together. They love it. Great rating. Great. It's amazing. The difference between women only and mix. Coffee is working really well. Coffee is scaling. So we scale the coffee. So now it's on 3 p.m. on Saturday. And we have 5,000 people every Saturday now having coffee together around the world. And we're launching Run now. So Run also is going up.
That's absolutely amazing. So the marketing engine behind that, you said ads in the language, and then you kind of moved that on a bit with the restaurants kind of directly. Anything else kind of fuel that?
We are still heavily performance marketing based. So we have a really strong performance marketing team. We produce like thousands of ads per month. So we are really pushing on this direction for sure. We did some branding activation. It's funny because I love it because every time like a startup do Subway, advertising, every founders, they go and they take a picture and I was like, oh, this is so ridiculous. Of course I did it. So in Paris, we have our Subway campaign. And I was like, wow, this is such an expensive selfie. And I was like, okay, but let's see how it goes. We have a lot of ads. Ads is our main drivers for sure, by far. I think ads is a really great tool because it's predictable. You can really manage. It's performance driven. We still didn't succeed where we want to be. So we need to be careful with the money, and we need to have, we need to control ROI and stuff like that for sure.
Cool, love that. And what about word of mouth? Does that? Do you get awareness or sight of that kind of impact?
Yeah. Word of mouth is a thing. We grow like more than 1 million followers on Instagram. I think on any given week, I think 30% of the people are coming organically. So we still have this thing for sure because I don't want to be like a bucket list, Airbnb experience stuff. But for people, doing a dinner with strangers is something you talk about the next day. Mm-hmm. Hey, what did you do yesterday? Oh, do you know what? I have dinner with completely strangers. Wow, it was amazing. So yeah, we have a bit of word of mouth for sure.
Well,
amazing.
But people around the world are going to have less dinners with their family, and they will have dinners with strangers now.
But to be honest, the restaurant industry is dying. I talk with many restaurant owners, and they are struggling for many reasons. One is because people are behind the screen all the time. They don't drink alcohol, like the new generation drinking alcohol. Alcohol is one of the highest margin product for restaurants. And so restaurants are suffering from that. I don't know, like 20 years ago, when you go to a restaurant, people say red or white. And it was classic, you take a bottle of wine, and now it's over. And so people, consume also less food because they drink less. In Paris now, we start to see first restaurant who ban cell phone at the table at night. They say guys, you need to talk to each other. It's not, and you're on the phone all the time. And so the restaurant industry is dying, like Uber Eats and Deliveroo and all these, services who bring you food to the home. Another example. So I was on Sunday with my wife in the restaurant, and we went to this restaurant, and wow, great. There is no one, we just going to have food quickly. And then food didn't come after 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then I talked to the guy and said, what's up? It's empty. He said, but look there, there is all these orders from Deliveroo and Uber Eats. And I was like, oh, so 10 years ago, this restaurant will be full of people. But now it's not, because it's only people who order to watch Netflix. So if you think about it, the restaurant are like a third place. Restaurant are this place we can go when we don't want to go on your place or on my place. You have to go somewhere else, right? So we have to go on coffee or restaurant or whatever. And coffee shop are dying, restaurant are dying in the sense of they are struggling big time. And so I think Timeleft can really help them to fight this decrease of demand they are facing.
Wow. So you're not only saving people from loneliness, but also saving the high streets and restaurants. Love that.
Yeah. They are partners for us. We really want to team up with them, because they are really I think they are an important part of our life, restaurant and coffees, and because we don't have any church anymore, we don't have any supermarket. My parents, they live in the suburb, and I'm shocked. Like when my mom go on Wednesday morning to get the groceries, she say hi to everyone. Do you say hi when you go in London? No, you don't say hi to anyone. We don't know anyone, but these things are completely lost. And so this space and time we used to have in the week when we know we're going to meet people is gone. And so I think restaurants are the last survivor of this. And I think we need to protect the restaurant, and we need to protect, have a glass of wine, just chill, people, enjoy a bit life. But it's maybe the old school part of me saying that, but
we don't want to replace the restaurants with what's it called, dark kitchens, like
yeah, that's what it is,
which is kind of a scary concept for me, to be honest with you, but
yeah,
we'll see.
So most startups like die trying to find product market fit. You found it. Now that you found it, like, what do you think other founders are missing in that journey?
I think the 0 to 1, yes, is really hard. I think it's just a question about how fast you try stuff and how fast you iterate. And so if you raise money and you have 12 months of cash, or if you just, you just quit your job and you have 12 months of cash in front of you, then if you try one thing a month, you have 12 attempts. We did 5 pivots, but in this pivot, we just, try so many different things. And so we were lucky to raise 2 million when we start, who give us enough time to iterate. And we succeed because we didn't run out of money, of motivation. But most of the time, the problem is this: like most of the business who dies because the founder don't have any motivation anymore. But most of the time, it's because there is no money. And if you have an uncertain amount of money, then the question is how much things you can try to make sure you're going to find the market fit. If you need 6 months to try and validate an hypothesis, then it's going to be really hard for you. So that's the 0 to 1. And then what I'm discovering now is, like, for every stage, there is different challenge. So when you want to go from 20 to 50 million, for example, it's completely different game with different challenges. Even the same hard as going from 0 to 1, I believe.
That's cool. I've never had that before, that you can this amount of things that you want to try.
Yeah. What are the challenges you're facing now?
It's I think scaling the user acquisition. So, spending, 10K a month, it's one thing. 100K a month of that is one other thing. When we want to reach now more like close to 1 million or 2 million a month, then you reach a ceiling. And now the question is, how do you break the ceiling? We have this kind of the same problem as dating apps. So when people make friends, they churn. So how do you, what do you do about it? Do you want to be more like only at the beginning of the journey of the users, or you want to build something more sustainable? And so this is the question we have. Also, it was a really hard lesson for me. And one of the hardest in the last couple of months is sadly what's bringing you here not going to bring you there. And so you need to be really honest with the people you have in your team. And it's really rare the people who help you to go from 0 to 1 going to be the one who help you to go from 1 to 2. And it's really hard for them to understand. It's really hard for you as a CEO because you hire them and you work with them. But you can see at one point when the growth of your company is the average of the growth of your people. And so if some of your people start to be capped and then, they plateau, then the whole company start to also be plateau. And it was really hard for me to navigate this because, you have this belief we're going to be forever together, let's go 10 years together, but that's not really the reality. I think in the US, they are more aware of that. I think in Europe, especially in France, we are most like, if I join your company, it's for 10 years, but there is different stage of company and it's really hard to know who is at his limitation and all this kind of thing. It was really hard the last 2 quarters, to be honest.
Yeah. And how are you getting support with that, sort of through that transition? Your investors supporting you much?
Yeah, I have really 3 amazing VC. So I changed my mind about VC with this new VC. And I have a coaching also. Coaching is a great thing. I think it's a great money to invest. I would really recommend any CEO who start to make money, just find a coach who is also, good for your stage of company. And I have great people. I think last time I was like, what is the job of a CEO? I asked myself this question, and I think it's three. It's like, one, you need to believe in something, no matter what it is. And second, you need to sell it. You sell what you believe. I think CEO are a great salesperson. And I think third is like hire the best people and make sure they work well together. And I think if you're struggling, is maybe because you don't have the right people around you. And so sometimes you need to do hard call, but the cockpit, your support system is everything.
Yeah. So actually, on that point, what's the friendship you lost over building the business?
Oh. Wow. I will answer something who is not exactly the answers, but like 3 years ago, I find love, and this girl became my wife. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but 3 years ago, that's when we start to scale. I think I didn't lose a friend, but I understand the power to have like a strong partners and friend who understand who you are. So I didn't lose any friend in the process, but I think I'm successful today because a big part of my personal life is stable. And I think without this stability in my personal life, I don't know if I will be able to do what I do. My single life was a bit messy, to be honest, a lot of dates and, partying and stuff like that. So I think it's a true thing when we say, finding your partner is the biggest and most important decision in your life. So I will say something like this. What I lose, though, is like I become really close with people on the first 2 years who have to left the company and be replaced. And it was a bit tough because when you're a CEO, you're really lonely. I think CEO is a really lonely job because you can't be friend completely with the people because, you manage them, you can fire them. So there is always this thing, right? When they laugh in the open space and I come, you can see there is a difference. The CEO is here. So, and then when you take decision, people really blame you a lot. They believe everything is your fault most of the time. So it's a really lonely job. So it's really important to have a strong and stable personal life, I would say.
Like that.
And did you find your girlfriend and now wife through the app? That's the question.
Almost. Before the last pivot, like I didn't know what to do to occupy myself. So I was doing parties in Lisbon, and she was there, not for the Timeleft party, but bring for a friend who know me. And the true story is like we met. I was a bit tipsy, so I don't remember her really bad. And then we matched on Inch 4 days after that, and I completely forget. I saw her and said, "Oh, you're new in town." I said, "Are you for real? We just talked 3 days ago." I was like, "Okay, bad stuff."
Love it.
And now I have the ring, so I make my way up.
You made it up to her. I love that. What are you most excited about over the next 12 months?
It's this mutation we are starting now, and we have really cool things going to be launched next Monday. So we want to migrate from like an app you use once to just have a shot of new people to more like to become an in real life social network. And so we want to transition with an app or it's only about strangers to an app or is also a bit about strangers, but also more about the people you already know. And so I don't want to be like a dating app who only give you first date. I want to be more like a dating app who you can use all the time and to go to the end goal, who is friendship, who is love. And so now we have some features who you can be connected with the people you match, but it's really low level in terms of interaction. So now we have, a new feeds coming. We have some really cool things coming. So we're going to look more like a social network more than a dating app. So I think we are starting to transition away from the dating app kind of space, to be honest.
Cool.
Last question I have, Max, for you, and that would be if somebody is, at the beginning of the journey right now and pivoting another time, what would be your one piece of advice for them?
the only way to fail is when you give up. So it's my mantra since 10 years. Like, there is nothing stronger than a little hope who don't give up. Till you don't give up, there is a chance. Now the question is like, what are you willing to lose? Do you need to take a freelance gig on the side to make a bit of money? Do you need to go back to your parents' home? Like, what do you need to lose to keep going? And if you stop, then that's okay. But also there is another thing who I think is the dark side of the resiliency of an entrepreneur is like, at one point, it's also okay to give up. You can give up and try again. So maybe give up, take a job, make a bit of money, find a girlfriend, have a nice place, just be more, whatever. And then you go back again. So I think I don't know if it's a good advice because I recommend the both, but, or maybe something also like, if you pitch your idea to your own close circle and they don't get it and they don't buy it, then think again.
Brilliant.
I'm a bit concerned now because my mom never understands what I do for a living. So that's...
No, mom, it's okay. The mom, it's okay. Mom and dad, that's completely fair. But at one point, you should feel it if it's hard. Like, if everything is hard, like acquisition costs are super high. People don't understand what you do. You need to pitch 3 times to make people like, bro, just pivot, like change, like something is off and you don't have time. So just, pivot, change quickly.
Awesome, Max. Well, listen, it was such a pleasure to have you at Building Great Tech. Great energy, obviously doing amazingly. So we're going to be like watching you closely and your sort of progress. Thank you so much for joining us. And if people want to find you, how can they find you?
Maxime Barbier on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Timeleft.com. You have everything on the website.
Amazing. Cool.
Amazing. Thanks, Max. Pleasure.
Thank you.